Hello, it's Cara here. So I'm here with part 2 of my flip through of my Canson Art Book 1. As I said in part 1, and I will link the video to part 1 below, I've got a talky one and I've got a one with just music over the top so that you guys don't have to listen to me ramble on about my pages. But I started this in April, it's now November and I've just finished it. I had a 2-month break where I was in Lithuania, so I didn't take this book with me, I just took a little journal with me. So yeah, we discussed this page in the last flip through. So I'm going to start, I'll skip one. I'm going to start here. So this was about lettering. So in the first flip through, just quickly try and find it. We did a practice whimsical watercolour word art. And this was then, I tried it with acrylics. So this was just me practicing my words. And then I decided to border it with a stencil. This stencil is from Dilutions. I think it's one of the dialogue stencils that you can kind of put in your traveller's notebook. So I just did that round stenciling and then a bit of outlining around the outside. So yeah. This background is book paper collage fodder that I'd made myself. And then these bubbles I just created using a lid, bit of stenciling in the background. Collage image. I love this image. She looks so stroppy. I'm not trouble, just a challenge to handle. I just think that is a great quote. And yeah, I quite like this page. It kind of come together just because I saw the image and I was looking through the quotes for something else and saw this and was like, I need to do a page. Drew the yellow from this and just put some other colours with it. So yeah. This was a practice. Now there's something in the background that I was drawing for this and I'll tell you about this one in a minute. But this was a practice. I used a rolled up napkin to try and create roses. I quite liked how they came out, some of them not so much. And the wetter your napkin gets, obviously, as the paint soaks in, the worse they get. But because I'd practiced with it, and I actually, the feel of it is amazing, you can feel the texture in it, I thought I'd leave it in. Now this page, it was part of Sketchbook Revival and you was meant to close your eyes and kind of draw a squiggle and then make it into something. So they encourage you to look at it every single way round. So when I saw it this way round, it looked like a person. So I drew it, this page was not done, and then realised it was upside down in my book. But I've got many journals with at least one page upside down where I've forgotten to check which way around my journal is. So I'm not fussed. There it is, let go and be free. And you have to let go because it's upside down. So this is just in here because this is quite sticky. This is the page that I was doing when I discovered, or when I had the idea for this. This is in the flip through part 1. So I used the masks here and went around them in black because I really didn't like the background I'd created. So I did a rainbow and then I decided if I put some masks down, I can black out all the rest, which I either do with backgrounds I don't like or very, very busy backgrounds. In one of my older journals, which I will do a flip through of, I kind of do hands or circles or figures, but this one I just did the word colour. I'm going to pop this back in because this one does stick a bit. This is, I don't know what to call them. They're like paint skins. So if you put paint on a palette and then you peel it up, it's like that. But these were made using spray foam. And I like them so much that I've just stuck them in and done nothing with it. I just love the feel of them. And I feel that if I painted over them, it would ruin it. So this page is just about texture. And that's why the colours are a little bit weird. But I love it anyway. So in part 1, I talked a lot about Tony Burt and her class for Sketchbook Revival. This was the class from Sketchbook Revival that inspired the other pages that I talked about. So we did this on this one little book page and then I've added stuff to the background to make it into my journal. So this class was done watercolours, a dark pencil, so I used a 6B and then a bit of stenciling. She used, I believe, some collage fodder. I'd only just come to Morocco and didn't really have anything apart from some book pages. So I stenciled over more book pages to make it look like my own collage fodder and then made some of my own collage fodder anyway. I put a little bit of orange in the background. This is tea stained book paper, and these are little bits of fabric from an old bed sheet which got ripped, and here at the apartments they were chucking them out, so I had them and dyed them. So yeah, this was a great class. Tony Burt, look her up. This was a bad day for me. I wasn't feeling great. I stuck down some of my pre-made collage fodder, which is just stenciled or stamped onto book pages. I saw this picture in the magazine and it was literally how I felt that day. I felt like I was dealing with the mother load. So I stuck it in after journaling behind. So behind this girl is a whole load of my thoughts that I just needed out of my head. I do that a lot in my journaling. I started journaling at a stage in my life where I was going through a big period of grief. So a lot of my journals started with my thoughts and feelings on a page, and then I cover them up. So that's what this is. Sometimes you just need to get it out. This is definitely a process video on YouTube. I don't believe it's actually scheduled yet because it's a background one and I just wanted to put a few sort of pages up first. But underneath here was a load of this green. I had some paint, some new paints, and they came with like a foil lid. And it had so much paint on it, I didn't want to waste it. So I smushed it on here thinking use it as a use it up, which I do quite a lot. And I hated it. So I covered it up and videoed it for you guys. And these are some of my favourite go-to colours. Blue, like turquoises, purples, pinks, especially the neon. And yeah, just a whole load of stencils and stamping to get rid of the green. I mean, there's still a bit poking through, but that doesn't bother me because the rest of the page is just so pretty. I especially love like this little section here. Probably put it on a notebook front or something. So this was a magazine image. I love the way she's staring out into, I originally had her on this side and was like, no, I want her kind of staring away from everything. So I painted over her. This is scribble sticks and watercolour, I believe. The background is acrylic, this is acrylic, and then there's just not enough time in the day for all the stuff I'm not going to do. This is Diane Reevely, Bigger Back Chat. I love them. This is a napkin in the background with these little bees and bits of flowers on. It was left over from another project, so I just slapped it in. I don't have a use it up journal with me at the moment. I normally have an A5 size journal where I slap in paint or little bits of extra, so I've been just doing it in this big journal as well. Or on some loose leaf. So this was that, a use it up page with some book paper, some napkin, and then this image is from Robo Tropica Collage Soup. I cut it out, I've outlined it, I've enhanced some of the colours, and If Not Us Who is a Art by Marlene quote from one of her sticker books. This was me having a good day. I love this page. I created the backgrounds together, and then I found this, which I believe is part of a Tracy Scott tissue paper pack that I had a long time ago, and I had this one little bit left, so I popped that on. And this is from it's either Dina Wakley's typed Ip Ledger sayings, or it's from a Tim Holtz one. I'm not really sure, but I just ripped it because I just felt the rippiness of this page. And then I decided, I grabbed a couple of other images to try on here, and then I decided, you know what, I love having background pages, well, most people would call them just a background page in my journal, so I left it to show my process. And yeah, I love this page. I think it's really pretty. This background was, I think it's acrylic paint. Yeah, a little bit of stamping. In Morocco, the carrier bags are like this material. They don't use plastic bags. And we ended up with so many of them that I decided I could stick some in my journal. So you get all different colours from all different places. So I've ripped a few down. This is a bit of Moroccan newspaper. This is a mask from Dina Wakley. Bit of old puzzle piece because we had a puzzle that had some pieces missing. A little bit of collage paper there. I like making kind of these elements and then I'll find a page for them later. So this was a bit of transparency that I'd painted on and then cut some circles out. So I just used the negative. And then a couple of Tim Holtz again. This paint technique is just smooshed on with a credit card. This is for a stencil. And then I found this image in a magazine, Prima Donna, stuck it down, and that was that page done. I don't think I had a lot of time that day. I should have probably gone back and outlined it or something. But actually, sometimes the simple pages, they work. Not sure whether it does, but it's here and it's here to stay. This again was a little element that I made, a little sort of focal point using those carrier bags again, bit of the book, the newspaper, and also a bit of book paper. This came out of a magazine. I really loved it. I found this in the UK and it's been all around Europe and to Morocco with me. It's been on a cruise and it's been to America and I've never used it, and suddenly I was like, I'm going to use it. But I love this background, very muted, black and white. I just used elements of red because of the red in here, but it's all stencils and stamps. And this is the Stabilo All Pencil activated. This image is from Collage Soup. This is a very girly page for me. I don't normally do this much pink, but this unicorn gave me the pink vibes. So in the background, there's a little bit of Tim Holtz tissue paper, book pages, some Moroccan newspaper, and some scraps from the same Collage Soup image, which are these purpley ones. Stuck down, I got these flowers from Collage Soup, but from a different image, as I did this butterfly and this, and then these are from a stencil that I created. I just stenciled through onto some watercolour paper, and they were white, and I just smushed some pink neon paint over the top to tie in with the pink acrylic paint here. Being an adult is too complicated, time to be a unicorn. A perfect quote from Diane Reevely's Bigger Back Chat. Boom, in it went. This page was so much fun. It was from Sketchbook Revival. It was about letting loose, and it was all the stuff in the background without these circles. I loved it. You doodle in some, you print on some, you know, you do whatever you want in each section. So you start by a big squiggle on the page, then you paint in your sections and then sort of add to the sections. I then, although I loved it, it felt it needed something. So I'd had this collage paper that I'd made using a stencil that I created using my Cricut back in the UK. And I just cut it out in random circles and kind of had the circles going across the page. And I put one there to give me a quote, like a little focal. I can and I will, watch me. And yeah, I love it. I really love it. So very simple, easy to do, but time consuming by doing all each section different, but good. Another one of these pages I love, just, you know, backgrounds, images, as most people would say, need something else, but not me. I love it as it is. Just basically playing. This here is a stamp that I made using some foam, and I was just testing it basically. This is bubble wrap. This is a stencil, again a stencil. That's all bubble wrap. It just, yeah, a fun page to do, and bright, colourful, again my colours. So yeah. This was an image I found in a magazine, and it was about this big. And I really liked the girl, and so I just drew it bigger. And yeah, simple page, bit of drawing, practicing with facial features a little, and there we go. So this is a page that needs finishing. This, excuse me. Sorry, that was my husband coming home from his run. This was another Tony Burke class. I did the face, so the paper actually stops here. I did the face and then decided I wanted it in my journal. When I stuck it in this way, the face kind of took over the whole page, and I wanted to create some hair. This little red tab is because I have an idea of putting all flowers around her head. So I just re-stamped all the background so it'd fit in, but I haven't found enough flowers yet to cover how I want. I do have some flower stamps back in the UK, so what I'm thinking is that when I go back, I'll get those and maybe stamp out my own flowers. So this little tab is to remind me to come back to this, because I really want this page finished, because I love how the face turned out. This is definitely a process video on my YouTube. In fact, I think it was my first YouTube video I posted. I call this September face because here it said September, but it was spelt incorrectly. So I covered it up. But all I did was this image came to here, and I've basically used the colours to create the rest of this background, given it the same kind of vibe, extended the head, you know, recoloured the eyes, put the whites in, give her some cheeks and a little bit more colour, sort of put some more colour in her hair. And yeah, just went with the kind of grungy colours that were there to there. But good thing comes to those who shut their mouth and mind their business. I think a lot of people need to remember this sometimes, but you know, a lot of people in my life anyway. This, I believe this was inspired by Tammy Porter, Tambaramba, I don't know how you say it, but on Instagram and everything. She is an Art by Marlene creative design team member. She done something with some little houses, and it just inspired this in me. I believe I'd seen this kind of layout on Sketchbook Revival, and then she did this, Tammy Porter did this little thing with houses. So it's kind of a combination of the two, but it's not my usual kind of style page, but I really love how bright it is, and this fills me with happiness. So yeah, I love it. I did it on an individual piece of paper, in fact, because I was kind of not sure I was going to like it, and then thought, what the hell, and stuck it in. I'm proud of this page because this image I designed digitally on my tablet. I struggle drawing faces, but this one, I mean, it took me absolute ages, but with the help of digital technology and sort of being able to reshape and whatnot, this page or this image I loved. And then because she's quite dark, I thought I'd just bring all this girliness into the background. So again, it's just a bit of book paper, pink through the stencil, some more stamping, there's a little bit of silver in there, and just, yeah, simple background, but it's really about the focal point. I also didn't put a quote on here. I don't put quotes on all my pages. I do love a good quote. However, because I had spent so long designing this girl, I just wanted to leave her there and just for it to be about her. So that's what that one is. So it's stuck together, yeah. This background was a mop-up background, so where I clean my stencils. So it was just on a piece of paper, loose leaf paper, that Canson paper I showed you earlier. Just a clean up page. I really like the muted tones of it. And then I found this girl in a magazine. Now, all the quotes about lemons came out, you know, life gives you lemons, make lemonades. I didn't really like it. And I was, again, at this practicing this lettering. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's what this page was. This image was a free printable from Neve Bailey. She is an amazing collage artist on Instagram, I don't know if she's on TikTok actually, but YouTube. And she gave these printables a while ago. Now, I couldn't attend the actual class live time, but I have rewatched it. But what I've just done is use some flowers from Collage Soup, and I've backed some of them on foam pads and just added them all round to give the kind of flowers that she already had a little bit of extra something. So this is a Tracy Weinstapperful. I don't know how you say her name, but free class that she does. I think it's called Rainbow Daisies. And this is all done on watercolour, and then you add acrylics to the top. I love this. It was so simple. She does it in her journal and she uses it for greetings cards. I've done it many, many times since, but this was my first attempt, so I stuck it in my journal. These kind of pages I love to do. Just an abstract page, sometimes just to get some paint on the page. Again, in some of my favourite colours. Put a bit of washi tape, or I use masking around, and then just go to town with your paints. Think a little bit about it, but you know, not too much. Peel off the tape and you've got this left, and then I bordered around that. And I'm going to put this back in because this is a little bit sticky. Again, this is another just use it up, wipe your stencils off page. These two pages come from Sketchbook Revival. This was called something about rainbows, and you had to find circles using different things. So this is a watch from a magazine. This is one of those paint tops that I was telling you about, where I smeared it all over the green page. So I used that. That was the top of my yogurt. Some collage paper I made, and again some collage paper. And this was more about dipping inside you, so using some homemade collage paper, and I found some quotes that kind of revolved around my original quote. I didn't feel to put the thoughts and feelings that she was trying to convey in the class onto this page that were going to be seen, because I kind of do that when I'm covering up the page, and I didn't want to cover the whole page up, so I kind of took the class and made it sort of my way. But yeah, this was a page with some kitchen roll stuck to it. I then painted a tree for some birds to sit on, and I didn't like it. So then when I got my new texture paste, I decided to have a go. So I just smooshed some texture paste through there, and then through, this is a handmade stencil that I made back in the UK. Texture paste, and then this is neon pink and neon yellow, just craft paint, like from the kids section. I mixed some together to make the orange, and then I used pink and the orange just to brighten that up. This was from a prompt deck, this word, clinamen. It's a slight swerve or deviation using art to describe creativity, divergence or originality. I happened to pick it out, and it was quite funny that it was a sort of an arty prompt. So I, again, practicing the lettering, and the page was basically that during the class. And my little mop-up page goes in just because of my texture paste. This is kind of a page together. I wrote in the background of this with pencil, and then instead of covering it over like I would normally, I just got those new neon paints because I've just got them out. I wanted to see what the colours were like, so I smeared it over. But because I'd written this way, and then I write this way, and then I wrote this way because I was getting quite a bit out, you can't read it, so I've left it kind of showing. And then because it was all about my worries, I drew these little worry monsters that I don't know where they come from, inside me somewhere, but and again practicing the writing, and then I just did two little eyes. I didn't want to draw a big monster on this to take away the fact that there is writing in the background, but there you go. And I've just noticed it was a week before my birthday, so there must have been something in my head. But yeah, this background was just one of the ones that I kind of love to do, and these are some of my homemade washi tapes. I do have a process video on those on YouTube, or coming up on YouTube. And my YouTube channel is still quite new, so I've recorded quite a lot of content, but I'm trying to stick to one a week so I don't kind of bombard it and then suddenly have nothing to post. So as I said, I'm going away for a sort of 5 weeks, so I know I won't be able to record as much, so I'm trying to kind of get that ready. This stencil I love, Pensive Face from Dina Wakeley. I created the background from using paint up, and then stenciled over the top with a very deep midnight blue. And again, I've journaled some of my feelings, but in more of a semic writing style, so you can't actually understand it, but the soul always knows what to do to heal itself, which is true. However bad you feel, somehow we get there. Okay, this was part of Sketchbook Revival. We were given these words as sort of prompts, and we created with that. So every single one of these words is represented in this abstract piece, and I really like it. I think it will become a printable or something with some of my others on my Etsy page. We'll see. Again, another one of these that I love. Just create a load of colour, put the white in the background to kind of tie them together, and a little bit of stamping. This was created for a printable. I haven't actually released the printables as yet. I'm still trying to figure out some things with my Etsy shop. Because I'm in Morocco, they won't, Etsy are being a little bit of a pain anyway. I'm having some trouble proving that, you know, my bank's still in the UK, etc, etc. So, but they will be up as printables. This is the kind of follow-up page to the stenciled one that I showed you. Quickly, this one. So this was cleaning off the masks, but before I cleaned off the masks, I stamped them, spritzed them with a bit of water, dropped them on here, and then smushed it so that the mask bit of the paint would also come off. So again, this is the word colour in the colours of the rainbow, the first page that I did that inspired this page. So this is in part 1. So if you want to see that, a little bit of talk about that, obviously pop back to part 1. I'll put the link down below. But then these are from Art by Marlene, Craftomania, Connecting Creativity and Art Lover. These abstracties I do quite a lot. This is just when I want to paint. I love circles, so a lot of them have circles in. Just a bit of smushing in like a cross and down, so like a cross shape, but I never kind of put my cross in the middle, always off to the side. Bit of stenciling there, and then a little bit of just me making circles. I love a circle. Oh, I'm going to put this back in because this is very sticky still, even with the spray. This is a collage soup image. I printed 2 of this. I think they were on separate pages, and I put them together this way instead of looking at each other. I created a very simple background just using some stencils, and I love it. I don't know what inspired it. Came into my head as I was cutting them out, and yeah, I love this page. This was a image about this big that someone sent me, and I liked it so much I tried to draw it. It did have a big bird cage on it. Someone told me it was a Tony Burt image, but I'm not sure. So I've just drawn it in my book, and there it is. And then here we are, last page. This is a collage soup image again. It just comes to there. I've extended the background for the beachy, and I've kind of enhanced this, painted over the top of the whole thing apart from the ladies. Added these quotes. This is from Art by Marlene, and these ones are from Tim Holtz. And then this little page, we met a lovely 10-year-old young lady, I'm going to call her, here in Morocco. And because I was painting, she wanted to paint. So she made this, I Love Cara, made by Inez, that's her name. So I promised her it would go in my journal, so I stuck it in with some of my own washi tape. And that is my journal flip through. So it's quite a beast. As I said, it has taken from April, May time to November, with a sort of a 2-month gap, where I had an operation. But yeah, if you missed part 1, have a look. The link will be down in the description box. And don't forget, give yourself permission to play and explore. Thanks very much. Please give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me grow. And, you know, send it to any of your friends if you think they'd be interested. But I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.